Get cozy, everybody, because they will continue on a game called The Devil's Whisper. How do I continue this? Wait, where are we? File 2, right? I smiled appreciatively and nodded my head.
Thank you, Andrew.
We were interrupted by someone else entering the classroom. A girl wearing high-top sneakers and a murderous glare stomped into the classroom, her arms crossed over her chest. Is that foreshadowing?
Good morning. Oh my, is that Cherry? Will someone please explain to me who is responsible for that unbearable smell?
She received no reply because the rest of the class had already scattered at the word Cherry. You'd think a demon had entered the classroom instead of a young woman. Another foreshadowing? Perhaps demon isn't a strong enough word, but she will definitely cause hell for anyone who annoys her. Well, maybe with one exception.
Good morning, Madison.
Upon hearing my voice, her expression instantly brightened, and she spun around to face me.
Oh, Amelia. Good morning, sweetheart.
Madison is Andrew's twin and my best friend. Oh, okay. We've known each other since middle school, so I knew exactly how to cheer her up.
Hey, did you see what that guy who claims to be a music critic tweeted yesterday?
Of course I saw it. It was the stupidest thing I've seen in a long time. Saying that the music industry is in a downward spiral because of K-pop. And here I thought he was actually reviewing with objective opinions.
Oh, and did you see what the famous Starlight Girls member said to him?
Oh, but of course I saw it. Wait to shut him up with a couple of words.
Girls, I don't want to sound rude, but I'm afraid I'm not understanding much of this conversation.
Yeah, I know what K-pop is, but... Madison slid her eyes toward him and scowled, arching an eyebrow to emphasize how annoyed she was by his interruption.
But I can see you don't need me right now, so I'll leave you two alone.
And they say men aren't respectful. He waved goodbye and left in search of friendlier company. Turned to Madison and looked at her disapprovingly.
Come on, you shouldn't be so hard on him.
Maybe living with him once in a while must be lovely, but every single day, sometimes I'd like to run away.
Another foreshadowing?
It must be so much fun.
To run away? What?
It's not, believe me.
Well, I never knew what it's like to have a brother. I wonder why Mom and Dad didn't want to have more kids.
They already had their hands full of you because of your nightmares, I think. That's why. I don't know if I'm joking or not anymore. The conversation was interrupted again, this time by the arrival of our homeroom teacher. Everyone in the class dispersed to find their seats. Hey, look, he looks like a guy that teaches. He looks like an archaeologist. No.
All right, guys. Everybody sit down, please.
Is his last name Mr. Harrison? Last name Ford?
Before we start class, good morning to each of you.
Morning to you too, teacher. You're gonna teach us archaeology and go to the what was those things? Crystal Skull Island or some shit?
What can I say? It's good to start the day seeing your faces again.
Okay.
Anyway, your venerable Principal Gibson tells me that you're preparing for the Spring Festival.
Yep, I'm all ready to bouncing out. I guess spring. Okay.
Every year, our Reisterfield Academy puts on one of the most memorable festivals that any institution can have the joy of putting on. As you know, our town is full of history that we preserve and commemorate through these ceremonies. I don't have much to tell you. This isn't your first year at this school. This year, our class agreed with the principal to make a magazine to compile the most representative events that Reisterfield City has had. As many of you know, two of your classmates are in charge of doing a sketch for the cover of the magazine. Miss Smith and Mr. Matthews, how far along are you with the sketch?
I felt my stomach drop. I still hadn't made any progress. Andrew and I looked at each other. What should we tell him? We were supposed to have the preliminary sketch done today. Mr. Harrison even let me bring art supplies home with me so I could work on it. Andrew rose from his seat calmly and cleared his throat.
You see, Professor, there was a personal inconvenience which didn't allow me to.
No!
I acted out without thinking, and now I was standing in front of the whole class. Focus, Amelia. Couldn't let Andrew take the blame for my mistakes, especially because he'd been so understanding. I wasn't sure about admitting my mistakes to the whole class, though. Maybe we could share the responsibility. Dude, that's such a dick move. No, I don't wanna escape. How do I save? One? How do I save again? Shit. It was my fault, Professor. Action will have consequences. Oh, there you go. Took a deep breath and turned to Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew. But you don't have to take responsibility for my actions.
I know accountability. Andrew gave me a sympathetic smile that shrugged helplessly at Mr. Harrison before sitting back down.
You see, Mr. Harrison, I was not able to perform the work.
Wait, alright. No excuses this time, Amelia, and you're missing a C. No excuses.
Andrew had nothing to do with it.
I could hear my classmates quietly murmuring to each other. They might all think I'm a slacker now, but at least they won't think Andrew is too. That's what matters. Did I do the right thing? Mr. Harrison had high expectations of both of us, so regardless of who was at fault, we still let him down.
Oh, but of course, guys. You have nothing to worry about. I must admit, it was very unwise of me to ask that of you yesterday, knowing how little time you had. However, we can't afford to fall behind. Therefore, I'll put together a team that can help you with the design. Would that be okay?
The team sounded like a good idea, but something fell off. Why didn't he assign this to a group to start with? Andrew and I exchanged glances and nodded to Mr. Harrison. We were curious to see who would be working with us.
Miss Matthews, please work with them.
That made sense since Mr. Harrison knew we were all close. This new team was off to a good start.
Sure, no problem.
2 more people should be enough to get the job done in time. Mr. Lawson, work with them.
Who's that guy? Lawson? Conrad Lawson? So much for the good start. An odd and poor choice, I thought, and a strange coincidence. Conrad Lawson was also part of our social group since he was dating Madison.
Do you agree, Mr. Lawson?
Do I even have a choice, Mr. Harrison?
Of course, it's the blonde, the sniveling little bastard with the annoying accent.
I think you already know the answer to that.
Haha.
I thought so.
He sounds like a good guy. Conrad patted his fist on the table in frustration. It's so typical for him to throw a tantrum over nothing.
And finally, Miss Macmillan. We'll be working with them too.
Another weird coincidence. I hadn't expected Claire to join our team, and by the look on Madison's face, she hadn't either. Well, this was going to be a problem. Not that I had anything against her. Claire Macmillan was a good student and a very kind person. Ask anyone. The problem was that she and Conrad dated each other before he and Madison got together. Madison couldn't stand Claire. Oh boy. Awkward.
Okay, guys, you know what you have to do. I want that sketch ready by tomorrow.
Tomorrow already, goddamn.
I'm confident that each of you will do an excellent job. Good luck.
That was a sarcastic good luck. I can tell from that smug look on your face. Yippee.
Are you fucking serious?
I know, right?
I could have expected anything. Literally anything.
Like, I don't know, a meteor coming out from the sky?
I mean, it's obvious that I would be picked to work with Andrew because he's my brother, and I can even kind of understand Conrad being with us. But Claire?
That bitch!
As if Mr. Harrison didn't know that she's the last person I'd want to engage in conversation with.
Hey, think of it as a fun team-building exercise with the person you hate the most. Madison had a point there. Mr. Harrison knew very well that Madison and Claire didn't get along. Forcing them to work together was a weird choice for such a time-sensitive project. What was he doing? Mr. Harrison is the most beloved teacher at our school. He's close to all his students and is usually very thoughtful. So it's hard to believe that he would have them work together just to cause trouble. There had to be something else going on here. It's the devil's whisper. The devil whispered to Mr. Harrison.
And you know what the worst part is? I'm absolutely certain that Claire will only use this opportunity to make me angry and get closer to Conrad.
Yeah, I think you're a little bit paranoid, but understandable, I guess.
I'll have a serious talk with her.
Let's, how do I go back? Alright. I always forget that. Something smells fishy here.
Madison, don't you think there's something fishy going on here?
And that isn't because the whole school is right next to the sea or anything. Or, or right next to the fish market.
Something fishy? With Claire, you mean?
Actually, Claire is one of them fish people. And that's racist for you to assume that.
No, I feel like there's something else behind Mr. Harrison putting together a team with all of us.
It's because the devil whispered at him. Come on, dude. It's the title of the game.
I really don't think so.
I know so.
There's something about Claire that has never quite convinced me.
You just don't like her because, Conrad dated her before you. And she seems like a nice woman.
How could she help us?
I don't know. Art with art stuff?
With both her parents involved in high politics, what's she in school for? She must have her whole damn life figured out.
I mean, you gotta learn politics from somewhere, right?
Stop it, Madison! It's not Claire's fault that her parents are well off, and besides, that doesn't mean she doesn't have a nice personality.
Yeah, get him, Amelia.
She's like any other girl. Just give her a chance.
Oh yeah, like what Conrad did?
Still, what's the point of her pretending to be a good person if everyone knows perfectly well that she's always been interested in Conrad, even though he's now my boyfriend?
I mean, yeah, but... What do you say to that?
What's the point, Madison? Good question. Oh, politics. Cold, cruel politics. I guess it's no surprise to anyone why Claire is taking classes with us.
Hey, look, it's the not evil bad guy.
From the point of view of our classmates, Claire is nothing more than a mere interloper here. From the actions of our venerable Principal Gibson, it is evident that the daughter of two of our city's most important politicians studies at Reisterfield Academy, just to give us a better appearance.
God, he's so pretentious. Oh, good. Conrad has arrived just in time to make things worse. While Madison can be hard to handle when she's in a bad mood, she's usually pretty friendly and people tend to like her. Conrad, on the other hand, he's the kind of guy that people start to loathe after listening to him talk for less than a minute. I still don't know what Madison saw in him. The money. He looks like that Usui character from Maid Sama. I don't like that. I don't like the anime or manga at all. But then again, I think I much prefer the anime because it didn't drag on for too long, unlike the manga, which like goes on for fucking ever. It's the same fucking formula every goddamn chapter. It becomes boring after a while. Maybe it's just not my type. Yeah.
Claire here is just an attraction to make the facility look nicer.
What do you mean by that? How could he be so callous? No, I take it back. He can't possibly be anyone's type. I hated how he acted like he was superior to everyone, especially women. But I wasn't going to let his awful behavior get to me. I refused to let Conrad lost and ruin my day.
Guys, this conversation is pointless. Madison, please tell Andrew that we will meet at my house today at 5 p.m. Please bring all the material we may require. You know how Mr. Harrison is. He surely wants a hand-drawn sketch.
What about Claire?
Madison's eyes blazed with fury at the mention of Claire. If looks could kill.
I guess innocent Claire is invited to your house too, right, Amelia?
Well, no, duh. Where do you want her to be? Outside the house?
Actually,
The last thing I needed was to get dragged into another one of their arguments about Claire.
I'll go find Claire to let her know the time of the meeting.
Flashed the pained smile and hurried back to the classroom. That was so awkward. That pair, they had already broken up twice this month. I wondered if this would be the third one. Hopefully Conrad would remember to grab the project materials from Mr. Harrison before he left for the day. Hopefully.
I'm home.
I was greeted by a heavenly aroma as I stepped in the door. I followed the scent to the kitchen and found my mom in the middle of cooking something that looked delicious.
Hi, honey. How's your day going?
It's still going.
Fine. As far as I can tell, fine.
I put my bag on the dinner table and sat down to relax with Mom for a while.
I'm glad, Am. I'm making lasagna. Just wait for me for a couple of minutes while I take the food out of the oven.
Lasagna, hell yeah.
Oh, Mom, there's no need for that.
You're not gonna tell me you don't feel like eating your favorite food.
I mean, isn't lasagna just flat spaghetti or something? Oh, I'm gonna offend billions of Italians now. Under normal circumstances, it would be impossible to refuse such a tempting offer. But today wasn't a normal circumstance. I couldn't tell Mom that, of course, she'd be crushed.
You got me. There's definitely no being that can resist your culinary prowess.
You flatter me, honey.
Mom.
I have a feeling something's not quite right.
Yeah, I just said that.
What do you mean?
Please, Amelia. I know you perfectly well. I am your mother.
I couldn't argue against that. Mom always knew when something was bothering me, sometimes even before me. Felt like I was waiting for something to happen. I just didn't know what.
It's nothing. I think I'm just a little stressed because I have some classmates coming home.
What? You mean today?
Yep.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I just found out today too.
Because Mr. Harrison's such a good guy.
Amelia, you have nothing to worry about. What time are your friends coming over?
5 p.m. My friends? I wasn't sure I'd consider all of them my friends. We were simply at the mercy of Mr. Harrison's will. I thought that perhaps some good would come out of this. With the exception of medicine, I rarely invited anyone over, so it would be nice to have some fresh company. What could possibly go wrong? You know, the devil might whisper to you.
I told them to come at 5 o'clock. Although, now that I think about it, maybe it was too early. Or too late, maybe?
Amelia, my dear little Amelia. If it's neither too early nor too late, it means it's the right time, see?
Okay. She was right as always. Mom always knew what to say to help me calm down and put things into perspective. I wish I was like her, so calm, so free. It took her years for her to get to that point, dude. Don't wait until you're like, I don't know, the same age as her.
Why don't you go to your room and lie down for a while? It's still 4:30. I'm sure when your friends come over, everything will be a little better.
What about my lasagna? I smiled and gave Mom a hug. There's nothing more comforting than being hugged by someone who really cares about you. Shut up, don't make me envious.
Thanks, Mom. I'll go upstairs then.
I'll lie down on the stairs instead of going to my room. I grabbed my bag from the table and headed upstairs to my room. I was halfway up the stairs when someone was knocking at the door.
Oh, don't worry, Amelia. I'll get the door.
Mom took off her oven mitts. Mom took off her oven mitts and went to the front door. I continued up the stairs but stopped again when I heard a familiar voice come from the entry hall.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Was that Claire? What was she doing here so early?
I was supposed to meet Amelia today for some schoolwork.
Amelia? Of course, she told me some friends of hers were coming over.
I went downstairs and into the hallway. A shy girl with curly red hair and wide blue eyes was standing in the doorway. Yep, it was definitely Claire.
Hi, Claire.
Amelia!
Well, I'll leave you two alone. I don't want to interrupt.
What happened to my rest time, goddammit?
By the way, there's lasagna and melon juice if either of you would like it.
Thank you, ma'am. That's very kind of you.
Mom smiled at the both of us and went back to the kitchen.
Come in, please. I must admit I didn't expect to see you at this hour.
Oh, am I too early?
Yes.
A little bit, yes. But that's okay.
I'm sorry, Amelia. I was a bit bored at home, and I guess I rushed too much to be on time.
Why? Is it because you wanted to see a certain someone?
No, don't worry.
Damn. What's that called? Damn homewrecker bitch. I needed to change the subject, but I didn't know what to talk about. Actually, I realized that I didn't really know anything about Claire. Maybe this was a chance to get to know her better. Claire always did seem nice, and it would be nice to make another friend to have over once in a while.
So, how do you feel about having Mr. Harrison back?
Oh, I can hardly believe he's back at school. We were all so worried about him. He hasn't been back since his wife died in that car accident.
Jesus Christ, what the hell?
But it's a good sign to have him back. That means he's feeling better.
It sounds like you have a good relationship with him.
I do. Mr. Harrison has always supported me with some personal problems.
Definitely. When I was feeling stressed about exams, I could always count on him for a pep talk. It's a shame what happened to his wife. I just hope the professor can get his life back on track.
The conversation flowed easily. I could now confirm that Clara was quite nice, frankly. I began to feel sorry for Madison. I mean, I obviously know why she hates Claire, but it would be hard for me to hate Claire even if she was my own boyfriend's ex. Well, if I had a boyfriend, of course. We passed the time pleasantly, and soon Andrew and Madison arrived at my house just after 5 o'clock.
Howdy, Mrs. Smith.
Madison, dear, lovely to see you.
Hi, Mrs. Smith. I'm Andrew, Madison's brother.
Well, if it isn't the famous Andrew. Amelia has told me so much about you.
Oh, really? Amelia talks about me a lot?
I wish that the ground would open at my feet and swallow me. Aha, another foreshadowing moment. On one hand, I appreciated that Mom was trying to be supportive, but on the other hand, she was embarrassing me more than words could possibly describe.
Oops, I promise not to say it again.
Then stop showing it.
No, not at all.
Andrew's cheeks were turning almost as red as mine.
Mom!
I know, honey. I should have been a stand-up comedian.
You should be standing up in the kitchen. Everyone in the room laughed at that except me. Oh, Mom, what am I gonna do with you? As embarrassing as she can be, Mom understands me more than anyone else, and I know I can count on her when I need her. I mean, I know Dad wants to be there for me, but we began drifting apart when he got promoted at work and started working late all the time. I hardly saw him after that. Things only got worse when we moved again. The stress of the move hung heavily over the household. At least it was just across town this time, I guess. Moving to Reisterfield City meant that we were no longer living in the same city as any of our extended family. It felt so lonely. It's probably why I've seen Madison almost like a sister ever since we met in high school. Sure, sometimes we argue, but that's true of most families, and that's what we are. We're family. La Familia. The four of us chatted over lasagna while we waited for the last guest to arrive. It was, of course, as delicious as always. We cracked a few jokes and shared stories, almost forgetting that we had a job to do later. It was a genuinely nice time. I was enjoying everyone's company so much that I completely lost track of time. Did you forget about the part where we were supposed to design something? Seconds turned to minutes and minutes turned to hours until finally Conrad arrived. You're just starting now? As expected, his arrival was not very pleasant, and my mood soured as soon as I heard his voice. Madison, however, was elated. Her face positively lit up when she heard him.
Could someone open the door?
Conrad was banging on the door, practically demanding that someone come running to open it for him. Mom graciously headed to the door to answer it, but Claire was already on her feet and hurried past her.
Oh, don't worry. I'll go get it. You guys go ahead and enjoy yourselves.
You do realize that the girlfriend is there in front of you, right? Claire went to the door and threw it open with a smile that could outshine the midday sun. Madison's face shifted to bewilderment and anger as she watched the scene before her play out. Sure, it was a little odd, I won't deny it, but it didn't strike me as sufficient reason to arouse Madison's jealousy. Then again, I've never had a romantic relationship, so I have no room to comment on this. Andrew took her hand and talked quietly to her in a reassuring voice, telling her that everything would be okay. My mom, detecting the tension in the air, decided that it was time for her to leave the dinner table.
Guys, it's so nice to have shared the afternoon with you. You were so lovely.
Oh, so now you bail, goddammit.
You see, I have some unfinished work and stuff. Adult life, I guess.
Convincing.
I'll leave you to it. Use the whole house freely. If you need anything, I'll be in my room.
Mom got up from the table and went to her room just as Claire returned to the dining room with Conrad in tow. This clearly upset Madison even more. She pushed Andrew's hand away and crossed her arms.
I'm fine, Andy.
Conrad tossed his bag onto the armchair and dropped himself onto our couch. It was like he owned the place or something. What an asshole.
Oh, Amelia. I'm so sorry to arrive at your house like this. But you understand, traffic, a lot of traffic. It puts anyone in a bad mood, capiche? And this couch, God. If there's a description of discomfort, it might be this one.
Then don't use it, asshole.
Could you at least disguise your lack of manners?
I wouldn't be so optimistic.
True. Conrad used to brag about the prestigious schools he attended before coming here, but I guess none of them taught him any manners. Too bad for us, but why does Madison like him?
Guys, please. I'm sure you won't have any problem solving your personal issues later. Will you?
Yeah, solve them later. We got a job to do. Well, not a job, but it was a task assigned to us by the teacher.
You know what? You're right. We shouldn't give this matter any more thought. Conrad, did you bring the materials I asked for?
Materials? What do you mean?
No, of course, of course.
What do I mean? What do you think I mean?
Makeup and girly stuff?
What? Seriously? What? It doesn't even make any sense. Was he messing with me? He had to be messing with me.
We're talking about schoolwork. W-O-R-K? Mad, please, please, please tell me you brought what I asked for.
Well, no, not exactly.
Haha.
I mean, it's a sketch for a magazine. What else could we need?
Of course! What else could we possibly need? We just require, well, what do we need for a sketch anyway?
I don't know, blank canvas and shit. This was insane. Scolding was going to get us anywhere, though. And it's due tomorrow. What the fuck? Calm down, Amelia. Calm down.
Okay, let's look for alternatives. Amelia, do you have drawing pencils, erasers, rulers?
And there was Andrew, staying positive and looking for solutions. Unfortunately, he had already returned all the art supplies to Mr. Harrison. Why would you do that? The supplies that Connor was supposed to bring with him in his car.
No, not really.
I furrowed my eyebrows in a futile attempt at an apology. Andrew smiled at me reassuringly and turned his attention back to finding a solution.
Anyway, there's no point in arguing about this. There had already been designated people in charge who should have brought what was asked of them.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon, my lord.
This is not a game, Madison.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, bitch.
You said yourself that this is no time for...
Which doesn't mean that things shouldn't be taken seriously.
You know I never fail to perform my duties. I'm serious.
You just shown that you did fail, god damn it, without bringing the things that Amelia asked for.
Then help us look for alternatives.
Alternatives, but what could we do? Digital art. There are a couple of options. Asking the neighbors if they can lend us something? Come on. No, it's highly unlikely they have drawing equipment. And even if they did, they hardly know us in the neighborhood enough to have the confidence to lend us any. I don't know, buy at the convenience store? Maybe all that's left is...
Can't we go shopping for materials?
Yeah, that.
I mean, if Amelia doesn't have anything to work with, we might want to go to a stationery store nearby.
I like that idea.
You do?
Of course you would like it.
You do?
Amelia, are there any stationery shops near your house?
I should know that stuff? I don't know.
Let me remember. I think there's one about 3 blocks away. Although I'm not sure if it's open at this hour. It's not exactly early, you know.
Well, some of us can walk over and buy everything we need.
Conrad pulled some keys out of his pocket and tossed it in the air, only to catch it again.
What?
My car?
Yeah, what's your car supposed to do? Break it open and use it for art materials?
Your car what?
We can go in it, if you want.
No. It's way too close. It would just be a waste of gas.
But what if the stationery store is closed? We'd have to go to another one that's maybe a lot farther away.
I had to admit that Claire had a point, but it was pretty obvious that she was just doing this to be on Conrad's side. Are you not aware that Madison is in a relationship with Conrad or something? God damn, redheads are so aggressive. What's going on between them? I was beginning to understand Madison's jealousy.
I'm with Amelia. I don't see the point in using a car.
Conrad and I can go quickly in the car. That way we don't waste time.
2 people doesn't seem enough to me.
Enough for what?
We all go or no one goes?
Conrad, I swear, if you're trying...
Trying to what?
That's enough! Let's all go in the damn car!
Yeah, damn car. I hate yelling and I hate feeling like an autocratic leader and giving directions to others, but I wasn't going to let another fight happen. Everyone nodded and headed for the exit. Madison and Conrad got in front of the vehicle while Andrew, Claire, and I sat in the back. Got in front of the vehicle. Oh no, they're gonna get squished. Conrad started the car and sped off in a few seconds. Does this guy have more than a couple of brain cells in his head? As expected from the time, it appeared that the stationery store nearby was closed. Andrew and I suggested we go back and just leave it until tomorrow. I was sure Mr. Harrison would have understood if we explained carefully. But of course it was Conrad. Nothing more and nothing less than a child spoiled by his parents, and whose ability to listen to others seemed to be undeveloped. And the situation with Madison was only getting worse, more so since Claire was in the same car. As if our dynamic at home wasn't tense enough, things seemed to have become a little dangerous. Dangerous?
I will not go along with apologizing to Mr. Harrison.
Why not?
I have never in my life failed to deliver a single assignment, and this will be no exception.
Yet you did fail, though, by presenting that you didn't bring the materials to begin with.
Let's find somewhere to get materials to work with then, damn it!
Yeah, damn it.
It's not that easy, you idiot. Even with the damn car, we haven't found another place. If it wasn't for the fact that someone was too late.
And you didn't bring any materials. Don't leave yourself out.
Not for nothing, but I wouldn't say Conrad's at fault here. I mean, it's kind of late already. Conrad is doing enough with bringing us all in his car.
I'm sorry? Did I really hear that?
Yeah, it proves that you're not deaf. Oh shit. I have to end it here, fellas, because I have to prepare for work. So this is the Devil's Whisper. I'm having a lot of fun with this one. If you want to try the game for yourselves, the links are in the description. That is all for today. Stay safe and take care of yourselves.